I don't know about the figure that you said about the 432 million or whatever, but I think the losses is much higher. And just to give you a figure, from the point of starting the financial crisis, the international financial crisis that happened in 2008. So from 2008 until now, the Kuwaiti stock market, for example, just as an indication, lost something in the vicinity of 34 billion KD, which is for the listeners and the viewers advantage. You multiply this by 3.5 to get to the dollar rate. So you're talking about more than 120 to 130 billion dollars of losses only in the Kuwaiti stock market. Now, many countries in the world, since the financial crisis, have done lots of things to decrease the ramifications of the financial sector, with the exception of Kuwait. Kuwait stands to be among the very, very few countries that has huge surpluses and a big daily income of 3 million barrels of oil produced every day at $100 or more or less price. You have to count for an income of $300 million a day, approximately, with an area of about 1.1 million citizens and 2.2 million of expats in a geographic area totally plain of not more than 16,000 square kilometers. So since the financial crisis, Kuwait income has increased while the investment sector has deteriorated. And as we can see that there are so many countries that have issued bonds or borrowed money to tackle the financial crisis in their domestic economies, while Kuwait has totally neglected the internal situation and done nothing. Now, with the Arab Spring around us, the venue of investments have decreased tremendously, whether it's in the GCC or in the Arab countries around us, either because of fear or because of real turbulence, like what happened in Egypt, what's happening in Syria, what happened, or even happening in Egypt until now, Syria, Libya, Tunisia, and the fear of more spreading, Yemen, and more spreads to come, potential, in many other countries. I don't think there will be any other Arab country that will avoid one way or another some sort of this public movements, because democracy has to supersede in all these countries. Now, getting back to the economic situation or investment sector, as the economy is always linked to the security and politics of each country, Kuwait has not tackled its domestic issues properly. To give you a few examples, since the income of the country has been increasing in the last 3 to 4 years, as I said, Kuwait has not spent any single Kuwaiti dinar to tackle the problem, and have, if anything, decreased or even stopped spending anything in the budget that relates to the development of the country. You know, we had a 5-year plan with an approved budget by the parliament of in the vicinity of 36 to 38 billion Kuwaiti dinar. Again, multiply this by more than 3.5, 3.6 to get it to the dollars. You get $230 billion of approved budget for a 5-year development plan. What has happened since it's been approved? Almost nothing. All this money that's been put in the budget every year, is unspent and put back into the into the public funds. And when the country is being really very thirsty and hungry for these projects, now when assets prices continue to deteriorate due to bad policies of the government, total negligence to the financial crisis, we don't even have a minister of economy in Kuwait. We don't. There is no special minister to tackle the economy. We have a minister of treasury and we have a minister of commerce, but we don't have a minister of economy. So nobody is really looking after the economy, and when things are left without attention, and with the psychological effects of the Arab Spring and of the financial crisis together, when the government is not spending anything in the development plan, with all the bad policies of other issues like too big government, too bureaucratic, lots of corruption, it's a bad environment for the investment sector. So it is there is no real confidence into the system. And as we always say, stock markets are an indication of the economic confidence in the system, present and future, especially future, the economic development. And you can see that the stock market, the Kuwaiti stock market, since 2008, has been going down one way. Most of the stock markets in the other countries have been up and down. Kuwait has been almost one track all the way down. To give you just a small comparison, when the financial crisis started, our indices was 2,000 points higher than the indices of Qatar. Today, we are almost 3,000 below Qatar. So you can just see a comparison between a neighboring country, which is Qatar. Also, the Kuwait stock market has deteriorated almost the most among the GCC countries. Even though most of the other GCC countries are not as rich as Kuwait. Kuwait is quite rich, maybe only Abu Dhabi in terms of a per capita. So while Kuwait is one of the richest, if not the richest, one of the richest in the GCCs, its economy has deteriorated the most. And you can see that not only from the prices in the stock market, but also in the prices of real estate. Also, you can see that in the business confidence, and consumer spending. All these are indicators of deteriorating economy.